The famous video game leaker Tom Henderson recently wrote an article detailing how he feels Battlefield is going to have some big problems with its late 2025 release window. And while I can understand his concerns, I do disagree, and I do have a completely separate perspective that I want to share with you in this video. So without further ado, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to read along with this video, I will link the article in the description. And while you're in the description looking for that article, be sure to drop a follow to my Twitch channel as I stream every single day. I also stream every day on YouTube. I do multi-stream. And join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, and of course, follow me on Instagram. As most of us know, the next Battlefield game got delayed about a year. It was originally theorized to release in about 5 months. We're talking like October, November, December release date 2024. When that was put to rest, and we discovered that the next Battlefield would be most likely releasing in late 2025, it was met with a mostly positive reaction because people understand that Battlefield is in some very bad water right now, and they need the time to develop and polish the next title before they go ahead and have another absolutely disastrous release. But the next Battlefield's release window sort of has a massive catch. It's pretty jam-packed with huge titles. We're talking the next Call of Duty. We're talking Grand Theft Auto 6. Both of these titles are obviously gigantic releases, and they're both absolutely massive in comparison to Battlefield in terms of interest, players, whatever metrics you want to throw out there. In fact, in this article, Tom Henderson mentions that he thinks they should actually push the game back to spring 2026 just to give the game a little breathing room. While I totally understand that GTA 6 and the next Call of Duty are huge releases, I don't really think that's the mindset you should be taking with the next Battlefield game. I don't think EA or DICE should be worrying about what's releasing at the same time as them at all. What all of these studios working on Battlefield need to worry about right now is their game. They need to be head down and focused in making the next Battlefield game and making sure that it is ready to release no matter when they release it. And even if they have massive competition in their own release window, it doesn't really matter because Battlefield as a franchise, even though it's in a terrible position, still has mainstream industry-wide attention. Even though a lot of people are very cynical about Battlefield, when they hear a new Battlefield is coming out, they're gonna pay attention to it, okay? Each and every single person that says, I'm done with Battlefield, oh, I'm never playing it again, guess what? They're still gonna pay attention to the new trailers. They're still gonna pay attention to what's going on with the next Battlefield game. Because what if, right? That's always in the back of their mind. What if? And that's why putting some blinders on and just making sure the next game is good is so important. Because, yes, the franchise is in a bad place, but what if the next Battlefield releases? People get their hands on it, and people are like, wait a minute, this is actually good. Wait, this is actually half decent. People are going to hear about it, news is going to spread, and it's going to be successful regardless just because the game is actually worth playing this time around. It's kind of like preparing for a sort of competition. I have a personal experience with this playing in multiple tournaments. Whenever we go into, say, a tournament, right, in whatever game we're playing, my team is not worried about what the other team is doing. Our team is worried about what we're doing because we know if we execute properly, we should win. And this brings me to my next point, the execution of the next Battlefield game. This article also mentions and reminds us of the fact that the next Battlefield is already all but confirmed to have a free-to-play battle royale that features something called Gauntlet, which will make players play some objective-based game modes. Sort of sounds like a competitive mode to me. On top of that, we really don't have any information around the setting of the next Battlefield game or anything else, but regardless, they need to execute upon anything they do at an extremely high level. I know a lot of people aren't going to like that there's a Battle Royale in the next Battlefield game, but even if you hate Battle Royale, you should be rooting for the Battle Royale to succeed because Battlefield desperately needs new players. It needs old players to come back, right? From Battlefield 3, 4, BC2, whatever have you, and that will happen if both the base game is good and if the Battle Royale is good. Simultaneously, new and old players will come back to the game if it is executed properly. Now, how do you execute this stuff properly? Well, if you remember, Byron Bede, who worked on Call of Duty and Warzone, is actually working on Battlefield. And of course, Vince Zampella is also working on the next Battlefield title as well. These are huge names in the video game industry. EA really did bring in the big guns. It's unfortunate that Marcus Leto left and EA shut down his entire studio, but you know, that's just EA things at this point. I think the fact that the Battle Royale is supposedly free to play is a no-brainer move from EA. I think that's actually fantastic. Obviously, there are massive concerns with any EA game that's free to play when it comes to cheating. We'll have to see how they handle that. My guess is they won't. But theoretically, having it free to play is going to make a lot more people try it, and it's just going to be more accessible. Now, if Byron Bede is going to do what I think he's going to do, he'll probably try to make it similar to Warzone, where the base game, say multiplayer, right, Conquest, Breakthrough, TDM, and stuff like that, is used as the normal base game. But people that want to play the Battle Royale are going to use the base game to level up weapons, and then go play the Battle Royale. That is a good way to incentivize people to play both versions of the game, being the BR and the normal multiplayer. And in terms of other things the next Battlefield doesn't really have to worry about anymore in terms of its execution, first of all, the pandemic is over, right? So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, they're working from home, blah, 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 blah. No. They're all in the studios working together. They're all in their Discords with good communication with each other. I don't want to hear it, okay? There's no excuse when it comes to that anymore. There's also no excuse when it comes to the game's setting. They have so many simple, crowd-pleasing settings to choose from. A super obvious one would be Battlefield Bad Company 3. The name of that game alone would draw international attention, would be huge, but the stakes are super high for that title, right? Do you want to try to make Bad Company 3 after you just failed with 2042 and risk ruining a game people have been waiting over a decade for? I don't know about that, DICE. That's ballsy, but it's certainly something they can do. Other obvious settings, Cold War offshoot. Let's say the war actually broke out between US and Russia and other countries, right? That would be super insane, like an alternate history route. They're allowed to do little tweaks here and there. That'd be pretty awesome. Another route they could do, Gulf War alternate history. The setting of that game would be aesthetic as hell. You have M1 Abrams. You got the classic US military uniforms. You got the map settings and the deserts and stuff and the cities. It'd be crazy. And keep in mind, all of the settings that I mentioned just as stuff they could potentially do, they're all modern. They would all be satisfactory. People get their M16s and their AKs and their modern military equipment and their modern vehicles. And it would be great. I genuinely think it's very easy for them to execute the next Battlefield game, given the options and just the feedback that they have with them right now. So while the next Battlefield game certainly has some steep competition if the game does release in late 2025, I don't necessarily think it matters if they actually execute upon their ideas, and they execute upon the correct ideas for once, listening to players' feedback, returning to roots, actually for real this time. Because let's not forget, guys, they said themselves, we are returning to Battlefield's roots with the next Battlefield game. So let's see what they mean by that. And like I said previously, there are no excuses anymore, and to be honest, it's the easiest it's ever been. It's so straightforward. So, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, I cover pretty much all FPS content, the finals and all FPS games that release. I'll be covering Delta Force Hawk Ops and Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and the next COD after that. I mainly do Battlefield, though, and I stream every single day on this YouTube channel and Twitch at the very same time. Drop a follow to my Twitch channel, and of course, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. All links are in the description. Hope to see some of you guys drop by the streams, and I'll see you guys later.